So you and I have talked about this, and you were saying that when somebody is on their true life path, the universe conspires to bring
Support
success
them, right.
to them as well. So could you talk a little bit more
The
about
way to
that?
look at it is you and I and everyone here, our souls on a journey here. And we're spirits, energy beings, whatever you want to call it. Before we dropped in, we said, you know what, when I get there, I want to be able to do this great work, this great soul potential that I'm going to bring in with me. Of course, once I hit that dense realm, I'm going to get lost.
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. How do people forget? I mean, like for instance, you know, a fox is born into a fox family. It knows it's a fox. It does its foxy things. It
Right.
lives its foxy life, and it has its, you know, and it leaves in the foxy way. It doesn't say, "Huh, I forgot am I a butterfly?"
Yes, right.
But humans do that
Because
we like forget who we are.
This is a great consciousness experiment, is a way to look at it. A leap of growth in our consciousness. We have existed in the other realms forever as light, as energy, as beings. We are trying to learn to bring that into this dense physical realm and still remember who we are and manifest things as energetic beings here, rather than landing in this dense realm and thinking that this teacup is real and that's all there is. We're trying to raise our consciousness enough that we begin to merge these two realms. And that's why people are waking up. That's why there's a higher vibration right now. That's why there's higher conversations going on like this. It's why people are finally quitting or getting laid off from their miserable corporate job and going out and doing work they've always wanted to do and finding success in that work.
Yes.
Because we're all finally remembering that we are energy, we are spirits. We're not just bodies bumping around in this meaningless material world.
So let's talk exactly about that. I was just talking to a friend the other day who's been in a corporate job for 23 years. She feels like she needs to stay at the job for the benefits, meaning
Right.
healthcare,
I
whatever.
understand, yeah.
Hates the job, cries every day to go to the job. It's, you know, practically sucking the living daylights
Right.
out of her, truly.
Right.
And yet she's very skilled at some other things as well.
Right.
But she is clearly terrified to be able to take that leap. So how do you help people transition through their fear, which we know is
Huge.
paralytic? I
Right.
mean, it just stops you from doing anything.
Right.
How do you do that? Because that feels like such a crucial part of your
Well,
work.
there's so many elements in that good question, because first of all, when someone hits an end of a cycle, a 9-year,
Okay.
no matter how much they want to hold on to that miserable job, it's going to go away.
And the blessing would be she'd get fired. I mean, that'd be the big blessing.
Fired
of
and
course.
laid off. And so if I
Right.
worked with her, I could see where she was in her cycles.
Right.
But from the amount of pain she's experiencing,
She's probably there.
she's probably at the end of that cycle.
Right.
And so it really feels like for her, she doesn't even have to worry about it. The steps will sort of happen, because when we're stubborn and we refuse to let go, the universe is so much bigger than we are. The divine order is always in action. That job will finally just be taken out of your hands.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I just had this thought, the 9 and the 9 months, the birth.
Right.
It's like, so when the baby's ready to be
Exactly
born,
right.
it doesn't really matter
That's
what you do.
exactly
Not going to stop the
right.
birth
Exactly
process.
right.
So same with us. We go
Beautifully
through
put.
periodic birth. Also to say, sometimes when you're trying to launch something or end
Right.
something, if it's not time to do that, it's kind of hard to do it.
It is. In other
Yeah.
words, we do have to work with the flow of the energy here, and that's part of our struggle as human beings too, is that we block out that intuition and try to be completely logical and practical and say, okay, it's a good year for me to do this according to
Right.
the economy, and yet
But it's not happening.
It's not happening.
But it
So-
might be happening for the person next door,
Right.
Because that's their 9-year.
and it's
but maybe
their
it's not
cycle,
yours.
and it's
Right.
also choosing the work, the next step that's totally in alignment with your mission.
Yes.
And that mission comes from that birth path that we talked about, that you get from your birth date. And for example, if your friend at the miserable job, if we looked at her birth path, we could say, oh, well, she's here to be this healer. And if she went and took a class in this kind of healing and got that kind of certification, then when the job falls away, she has the confidence now
Yes.
to hang her shingle, and whether it's a massage therapist or whatever it is, to start making her living from the healing
Right.
direction.
So, it's so beautiful, actually, the work that you're doing, because you can help people not only transition to the next, really the best possible manifestation for them, which may be one thing or maybe a bunch of different things.
Right,
Some
right.
of us like to do lots of different things.
Right.
But you can also give them the timing. So for
Right.
instance, I remember I owned my shop for 10 years,
Right.
which makes sense. And I sold it in year 9.
Right.
And year 7, I knew I was over.
Right. You were at coming to the end of the
Coming
cycle.
to the end of the cycle,
Right.
but it did take till year 9
Exactly
to
right.
sell it. And fortunately, I did know a little bit about the numerology and knew
And
about
you
the
knew
night.
that.
So I was relaxed in that I knew
Right.
it was going to happen.
Beautiful.
Because that can take a lot of anxiety off a
It
person
really
if they
does.
understand, just like a pregnancy. You
Exactly
don't want to
right.
give birth at month
At
7. You got a
months,
lot of
exactly
problems
right,
there. But if
exactly
you let
right.
the baby cook out,
Yes,
be ready,
that's right.
it's ready, and it's a very different kind of experience.
That's so beautifully said, because we all intuit when the change is coming, and yet many of us, and even me, when I was in my journalism career, I was a single mom, I had a mortgage to pay, I knew that I was done with that career.
Right.
I hated going to work, even though I had loved it initially,
So
right?
isn't that the sign? I hate
I
going to
hated
work.
going to work.
That's not the right job,
So the
yeah.
universe was giving me a million signs that it was done, and yet I kept. I'm from this very logical, practical Southern family, and I was having a weak moment, and they were saying, "You hang on to that job. You need
better
your
have that job."
benefits and your health insurance, and you'll lose your house." So I went into my fear, and of course I hit my 9 year, and I was laid off. Got hired again in the same job, and then was fired. And so finally,
Yay! Yeah.
finally I went, okay, yes,
I
I
get
get
it.
it.
I get it.
I
Yeah.
get it. But the universe provides that when we aren't listening, when we aren't paying attention.
Right.
But it's better always to see it coming, feel it
Right.
coming, and start taking the baby steps. Like, for example, your friend, if she's not in a 9 year, we'd have her go out and take some courses.
Yeah, I
we'd
love
have
that. I mean, that's so supportive of preparing for what's
preparing,
coming.
right. And
Yeah.
then when the job is gone, she's not there feeling the world
Right.
is coming to an end. And
So how do you help people with their fear, which is rampant in our culture
Right.
right now, because there's, we're probably in like a 9 cycle on
Yes.
a macro level, because so many things are ending and transitioning for people, and fear can be so overwhelming and so anxiety producing that
Right.
one can't even see the choices.
Right.
How do you help people?
Well,
with that?
first of all, in this dense realm, when we came here, we knew that we were going to hit this dense realm and feel those negative emotions.
Could you explain more what the dense realm is?
For example, when we are energetic beings in the other, how would I say? Planes, yes.
of existence?
We manifest instantly, we connect instantly, we kind of live on this very much higher vibration. We decided to come in here as an experiment to try to shift consciousness on this level. We get here and there's negativity here. It's like mud. It's like fear, anger, doubt.
Right.
And yet it's like coming to a workout gym. You want to push against that resistance in order to evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fear and the pain is actually here to help us find our strength and to remember who we are and to develop our spiritual muscles, so to speak, get stronger and evolve our souls. If the fear and the pain and the anger didn't exist here, we would just be having a great old time, not learning anything, not evolving.
Which sounds very appealing when you're going
Sometimes,
through a hard time,
exactly.
right?
Like I think I feel like having a Cadillac in the
Yeah.
driveway and being there just like in Bewitched.
Right. That's why we all love to be
Right,
rich.
exactly.
Right.
But instead, when we hit against the fear now, there's also another part of us at the same time going, this is happening because
Some higher voice says,
you know better than
You know
this.
better.
Imagine if you tried it this way. And you have, as a conscious being, get to make the choice.
which we always forget.
Yes.
We think we don't, like my friend with the bad job.
Right.
She feels she doesn't have a choice.
Right.
When she always has a choice.
We always have a choice. We always have a choice. And so exercising that choice is what we call free will here.